Yo, yo, yo. It's interesting. I, I I hate when people are saying like, "Oh, I can't wait, man. When it gets back to normal, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I can't wait to do this when it comes back to normal." Um, nothing's gonna be back to normal anymore. This is a yeah. Nothing's gonna be back to normal. Like literally, everything's gonna be slightly different, one way or another. Um, so got my mask on just in case any of you listeners. Okay, that was corny. I'm not even gonna mention. It's the Shi-Fi podcast, episode 61. Man, let me wait. Put the boom, 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 boom. All right. Hmm. All right, so this is a random day for my podcast to be out. Back when I was doing school this past spring, I got kind of like busy, you know how that goes, and so it was like, and I'm very passionate about doing like one podcast a week, like that's my little discipline thing. Um, so I'm a slightly behind, so this is like my what quote unquote punishment, whatever. I need to do a podcast. I need to like if I don't do a podcast in a week, I will have to do it. I will have to make it up. That's how I kind of see it in my mind. So that's just how it is. Um, what else? Housekeeping. This might not be an hour and a half. I know my last podcast episode, I went an hour and a half, which was amazing. It was a great episode. Probably the best, my favorite episode I've ever recorded. But it's just I think starting out, you shouldn't record hour and a half podcasts. I don't know. I'm still experimenting. That was an experiment, but I think in the near future, this one probably will be 40 minutes unless I'm just feeling it. Um, and I don't know. It really depends. This is like a episode by episode thing. Honestly, I did that hour and a half podcast episode last time, and if you're listening to this late, it's episode 60. I did that just to like prove to myself that I could, and I did. And that was a little impressive. I'm not going to lie. I'm not. It did help I had a co-host, but the fact that I did an hour and a half episode, that was a little impressive. It was a little impressive. Not great. It was just like, okay, that's something in my pocket. Like this, I'm gonna put that in my back pocket. I'm gonna put that skill in my back pocket. I might move it to my front pocket. You never know. You just never know. But I think that was a good. Maybe you just never know. But for now, short term future, probably going back to 40-minute podcast. Just a quick in and out, just like nothing too crazy. Nothing, because I'm no Joe Rogan right now. Let's just I'm just Shi-Fi. That's all I am right now. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. Um, okay. Can someone tell me Elon's baby's name? I've seen this name 1,000 times on Twitter, and I have seen what is it? I've seen him pronounce it several times, and I still don't know how to say it. Apparently, they just call him X, which is extremely confusing because there's a lot of X's in my mind. DMX, XXX, Tentacion, and now we have Elon's kid. There's too many. We need. Okay, I don't even. It's too much. It's too much going on. Um, um, yeah. So speaking of Elon, this is where I was trying to go. Hmm. So he's been working on this thing. A lot of people have been working on this thing, but it's very hush hush. The whole like neuro microchip link thing, and it's extremely interesting. And Elon was describing it the other day. He was actually describing how the process is going to be. You know, sometimes when I hear Elon talk, I think it's like a struggle for him to, I feel like he wants to say more than he does, but if he does, he's going to like feel crazy. People are going to judge him like he's this crazy person. Um, you know, so I think that's the victim of Kanye. Like Kanye says outrageous stuff that people can't really like understand, so they just like they just get scared and start judging the actual person that said it. Which, you know, when these people say stuff, you have to realize like they're just thinking out loud. There's just so many thoughts running in their brains that it's just like embrace it. I'm like, don't say like, oh, I believe that Elon's going to do that. Just be like, it could, because Elon has that intelligence to pull it off. Kanye has that amount of passion to pull that off. Like, you know, those are two people just like, you know, I think it's good to, you know, look up to as in whatever you're trying to like set out in life. And I know it's a little corny, but like, you know, thinking crazy is good. Don't be ashamed to think crazy. Like I think I don't know, it just feels weird sometimes when like, you know, when you think crazy thoughts that could happen, but you just kind of keep it to yourself because I feel like if you tell people, people will be like, "Oh, okay," which is okay. Like so, back to the point. He was describing this little microchip thing. Again, let us let's just get to the point. 3 inches of your scalp out of your scalp or skull, whatever, and inserting something else back with it in the 3 inches thing. What? What is going on? It's it's hard to think about, but it's interesting. And I think people are so scared of that technology because they think like Bill Gates and Elon are like the antichrist and like are going to take over humans, which is a possibility. I will count that out. That's why you have to be careful about it. You have to let the other people like I'm not gonna be the first one to volunteer for that stuff. Um, but I will say, like being around old people, being around people in their 30s, or in my generation, they tend to start being more like, oh, this is the end of the world. Oh, this is the end of the world. Like people in their 60s and 70s, they're like, they think any technology is like, they're paranoid. They're just like, yo, like I know my mom or like my parents, this is everybody's parents. They're like all paranoid with the whole like, our phones share our location whether we like it or not. And if you told someone that in the 1970s, they would freak out. They would be like, no, not doing that. So it's just how the world, you know, evolves in a way. Man, it's interesting. And who knows if this technology is going to be around for this? Like, is it going to be soon? Is it going to be like in the 30s? Um, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just really like curious. My favorite part about like when Elon and Kanye say these things, they say it what their crazy idea is, and then they just have a blank straight face, like it's normal. And then like the people always interviewing them are like, "Are you serious?" Like they always like joke, and Elon and Kanye are like, "I'm 100% serious." I like that attitude. I like it. Um, so again, this is a very ignorant view of the whole microchip situation because I really have no idea. But wouldn't it not make sense to, right now with us looking at a screen, that's something in like that was unfathomable in the 1980s. Like the watch. Like it was cool to have in those movies a watch, and you could like accept a call, and then like it's that person's face like, "Yo, how are you?" Blah blah blah. Like that was like cool. And now we have the technology, and like no one cares. and and so when I'm thinking about that, I'm like, would it not be kind of cool to? It's like I think it's some Iron Man stuff going on. Would it not be cool to like wake up, do all your stuff, whatever, and then turn on your phone or turn on your like brain phone, and it like shows you the notifications or tweets, or you can scroll through Twitter and Instagram with your like eye screen, like your eye is the screen. I sound really high, but it's 8 in the morning. But so the screen, this is really extremely hard to explain. So when you're this is really hard. I really hope I'm getting something across. When you're I know what I'm It's something where like you turn on and like your eye itself, instead of me looking at this pin for my YouTube people, instead of you looking at this pin, you actually can't see the pin because you're scrolling through Twitter with your eyes itself. That's interesting. That's And like what if you get like notifications and you just all of a sudden get like some red dot in the corner of your eye? That's interesting. That is interesting. Trying to think of other future stuff. Um, you know, do I want to talk about this? I'm really not trying. I'm really not trying to ride Elon and Kanye. I'm just thinking I like how they think because they have no limitations, and I think that's the best way to just think. And they have the attitude of, I don't care if 99% of this doesn't work. It probably 99% of what they do won't work. But it's that 1%. It's that one little thing that could just blow up the world. So, I respect that way of thinking. What's that quote? What, Thomas Edison? He had like 10,000 bad light bulbs to get one. It's you just can't think of like a high percentage when it comes to that type of stuff. I read about Kanye recently. His is a little interesting. His Wyoming experiment's really interesting. I'm like really just looking at it. Um, and the city where he actually lives, I've actually been there. Cody, Wyoming. I went there on a family vacation when I was like 10, 8, something like that. And it's interesting that Kanye lives there. It's really weird, but and it's not even like that big of a city. It's big in Wyoming. But Kanye is really big on this whole not having yourself in boxes. It does sound crazy, even to me. Okay, let's get out of the way. But I respect it. Again, back to that point. He's really obsessed with not being in boxes. So, like, because I think he's trying to get to the point where maybe humans think of boxes as in um, limitations. It'll limit your way of thinking. Um, I get what he's trying to say. It is crazy, but crazy works sometimes. Um, so what he's trying to do, like he even like brought up like how box crate or baby baby crates or boxes. And so Kanye was built like even when we're babies, we're boxed in and we get in a room and then we get in a cubicle and then we get in a classroom. It's interesting. I mean he's right, but sometimes I think that's just how you have to take advantage of that growing up, especially growing up. Like, not all of us are millionaires where we can just go straight into something we're creative about. But back to Kanye, he's like forming this. You can easily say this is a cult, by the way. Easily. He's like trying to create a city where nothing is like a square, nothing is like boxes. I've seen videos of this. It's so weird. And it's like all the rooms are like wavy shaped. Again, this is hard to explain. This is really, I know what I know, but it's hard to explain to someone else. It's like wavy. I don't even know how to explain this. I can't think of any examples in my room because everything is boxed. He has a point, but everything is like wait, and he's obsessed with this one artist, which I like it. There's this one artist that's really big on lighting itself, which again is weird. And Kanye is using it's Trudeau. No, that's the prime minister. Tuso. How do I remember that? Tuso? I gotta look this up real quick. Truso. Um, and so this one artist is like experimenting with the lighting. Okay, I don't know. Russo, Tuso. Experimenting with the lighting of how light changes our moods, our vibes, which is true. So picture this. He's creating a city where there's no boxes. Everything is like wavy shaped with like pink lighting, blue lighting, instead of like just normal light, like how we think of like the yellow white thing we think of. Instead of that, it'll be like bluish and greenish and reddish. Again, trippy. This is all trippy. I like it though. I like it. And it's supposed to be like a creative place. So there's that. There's that. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I think in those situations, I'm always open minded. Even though I'll say something is crazy, I'll still try to embrace it. I'm not that person that says that's crazy and then moves on to something else. I'll say that's crazy and I'll just be like, don't knock it if you try it. Don't knock it until you try it. Whatever. So I thought that was interesting. This is definitely not a sports, music, entertainment podcast at all. Well, I can throw Kanye in the music category. Um, What else? Yeah, that microchip situation, you can talk hours about that. Especially with the whole coronavirus vaccine situation, which from what this might be the first vaccine, I don't know vaccine history, but this might be the first vaccine where like the whole world has to take it. And it's like the smallpox vaccine, all those vaccines we take when we're young, where we have to be immune to it. This is a new world to me. Like I just found out. I don't know if I'm dumb or not. You know, the whole coronavirus situation where like we can all have coronavirus. I could have coronavirus right now, technically, but I won't have the symptoms. And so asked my mom, since she's like this whole medical person, I was like, is that the same with the flu? Is that the same with like every disease ever? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, since when? I could have had the flu every year. I could legitimately have the flu every year, but just not show symptoms just because I have a good immune system. That itself could have helped me pass biology in 9th grade. So weird. I just thought ignorantly, if you have the coronavirus, you're going to be sick. I could have had the coronavirus this whole time. And so that's, I think, why people are harnessing on like having these kids not travel like that, because they could hold a virus to spread it to a 70-year-old with a weak immune system. I get it now. I get it. That's why I was like kind of confused, ignorantly saying like, why can't like this 20-year-old go travel to Europe and take his 1/1 millionth chance of getting the virus? It's not about that. It's about his chances of giving it away to every old person he comes across. You know, interesting. It's interesting. But speaking of the whole vaccine thing, you know, the theory of Bill Gates putting a bad microchip in everyone's vaccine. I mean, I get it. If I was rich, I'd entertain that idea. But but I don't know. Very confusing. He could totally have a microchip. I would not put it past Mr. Bill, because isn't this the first time where we're gonna have a huge vaccine like this to add to all the vaccines that we all have to take, just when we're babies and at certain ages? It's the first time in a while, so it's interesting. So it's funny seeing like Bill Gates posts on like Instagram, and people posting about him on LinkedIn. They're not even, it might not have anything to do with like the virus itself, but people will like bring it up in the comments saying, "Oh, this is the Antichrist, blah 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 blah," and it's kind of, everybody's just done with Bill Gates. Everybody's done. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, all those people. All right, let's get into some silly stuff. I've been on TikTok for a while, and I follow the Charlie D'Amelio. Don't know how to say her last name, even though that's Italian. Addison Rae, and I follow Jason Derulo. I've been a little day one TikTok stan of Jason Derulo, yeah. And he's been killing on TikTok for the past 5-6 months, but my Twitter crowd got a hold of him. The Twitter community got a hold of him. Found out about all his TikToks. They've been roasting him. I'm like, guys, This is Twitter. That's TikTok. Why are we roasting cross platforms? And I was like, I felt away because I was like, yo, let Jason do what he wants. Let Derulo does what he wants. So thought that was kind of goofy. He has some icy dances, but like, of course, every 30-year-old is gonna judge a TikTok. It is. It's just how old people grow old. It's just they get scared of something. They get scared of something. They just don't want to participate, or they cringe more. They just start cringing more. Um, so yeah, that's that. Is that everything on Jason Derulo? Is Jason Derulo gonna be the like DJ Khaled of Snapchat? I don't know. I don't know. He might be. He might be. He's got potential. He's got the potential. I know Tyga's on TikTok doing good. I like this. I think I mentioned this tweet before, but I saw a tweet. It was like people who like bash TikTok um, must have like a PhD in maturing. True. True. But why do I have this in my notes? Um, who came up with the term wife beater? I'm sure Pete. Why has no one explained why they call it a wife beater? The white T-shirt thing. We ask this every year. No one answers the question. Why? Why does no one answer that question? I'm going to find out right now. Why, Google, why do we call it a wife beater? Because that's aggressive. Um what? Weird. Right, here's this article. Why are we really still calling this shirt a wife beater? um I'm getting a lot of explanations. There's no like clear explanation. It's a mix of like, movies that have the stereotypical husband that beat their wife. Apparently, oh my gosh. Apparently there's like a string of movies like in the 1930s and 40s where, they would show like these lower class families and the husband would wear that type of shirt and would abuse their wife. It's a reputation for working class men. Ugh. This is a horrible explanation. Ew. This is sad. It's literally just a stereotype. Why have we not got rid of that stereotype? Ugh. That's nasty, man. That's uncalled for. We should change that name. Can we just call it like a tank top? Well, I can't call it a tank top. We need another name. Someone come up with another name, and let's keep it moving. You know what? This has been a weird episode, so let's close this. Songs of the week's shout outs. Song of the week shout outs. Song of the week. I don't know. Song of the week. Song of the week. Have I mentioned this? I have no Griselda songs in this. All right, we're putting a Griselda song. Y'all know me and Griselda. We're putting. Have I not put Dr. Birds in my songs? But yeah, I'm putting Dr. Birds. I think Doctor or DR Birds. Whatever that song by Griselda. Yeah. Why have I not? Have I really not? I cannot believe this. Believe this. Yeah, that's crazy. Yep, I'm putting that song in. DR Birds, Dr. Birds. Tough song. The best Griselda song. Probably the best Griselda song, I think. At least top 3. It's a classic. Man, I have a lot of good topics for maybe Saturday. For this weekend. All right, whatever. Shout outs. Shout out to everybody like slowly getting back to work. I guess like the non-essential people. It's just making their ways, having the social distance thing. It's really interesting. So yeah, shout out to all y'all. And shout out to all y'all for maybe listening to this, because this was probably the most outside thinking podcast I've recorded in a while. So yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching. Peace. Have a good one. Blank. Shi-Fi out.